So maybe not everyone needs therapy, but I truly believe that everyone needs a way to make sense of their pain. And sometimes when we go to pastors, we don't get that because we get thrown Bible verses. Like, this is the solution.
This used to be a pet peeve, huh? Throwing Bible verses. Hey everyone. Welcome once again to yet another episode of Hot Topics, the show where we try to explore topics and questions that pack a little heat, especially in the church community. And today, we're going to talk a little bit more about mental health and related topics around it. We know we've touched on this from a previous episode, so we realized that it's time to get the professionals in. Come on. So we got someone legit, someone certified. We hope she didn't cheat us and lie to us on her credentials. But I'm so glad to have with us as a guest. She's a certified and licensed counsellor, and I want you to give a very warm welcome. Imaginary one, I know, because you're not here, but just give a warm welcome to Lynnette Chai. Come on.
Thank you. Are you serving the hot food?
Hot food.
I remember the last episode got spicy food.
Good point, because we realized that, before I introduce, let me introduce first.
I'm your co-host today.
He's going to be my co-host today, Pastor Keith, head of Collective Global. Yes. Good point about the food, because it was actually the episode where we did on this topic that we realized maybe the food's not a great idea because it got really deep. Yes. It got really to a moment and we realized, man, we can't do this eating thing right now. And we decided that, it sounds fun. And I think it works on certain episodes. So for those of you who wonder, where's the spicy food? We will bring that back every now and then, depending on topic. But today, for this topic, we thought,
it's hot enough.
It's hot enough. And, we'll just go straight into it. So we're so glad to have Lynnette here. Like I said, she is a certified, licensed counsellor. We are just pretenders here in this topic.
No.
Pretender one, pretender two.
I'm the pretender, that's why I asked the questions. But Lynnette, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Maybe you can share with us a little bit of your background. What do you do?
Right. So I'm a licensed and registered counsellor. I'm a co-founder of Remind Psychology Center, a clinic, if you would like, I see patients on a day-to-day basis. But I also have more than 10 years of experience in the corporate world. Started my career as a HR. So currently, besides my role as a therapist, as the co-founder of Remind, I am still serving as the HR director of an F&B company. So
you got 2 salaries? 3?
Yeah.
3, if you listen carefully.
Oh, sorry. That's why I'm the pretender.
Well, pockets of salaries in different places. But yeah, so I train, I see clients, I coach, and I do a lot of corporate training as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I do.
Okay. So you have these different hats.
Yep.
But related somehow, right?
Yep.
Because you need to relate to people a lot.
Yeah, the commonality here is definitely people.
So just curious to know, because I always like to know the origin story. What got you into psychology, or what got you into being a counselor? Yeah, what's the origin story there?
Like, everyone else have their own sophisticated origin story, right? Like, they've been through something and I want to help the world. For me, it's just that I was so inspired by TVB.
TVB.
I only know pilots lah, TVB, doctors,
lawyer.
You know what?
Forensic hero.
I wanted to
that is
I wanted to
also
be a police officer growing up because of they were this.
What happened to you?
Life.
You are still investigating.
I'm still investigative, huh? Yeah. But anyway, yes. So TVB.
Yes, so
what show was it?
I don't know whether you know about that show. I probably don't lah.
You're kidding me, really?
Yes.
This is what we like. This is unexpected.
So
stories.
there is this TVB
I thought
drama.
It's a calling in church.
It's called 心理有個迷.
Translated in English.
So in Mandarin it's 心理有個迷, which means in psychology and in your heart there's a mystery. It's just that because the 心理 and the 心理 both psychology and heart in Mandarin sounds the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know
it's
why, but
funny,
the first question is, who's the actor or actress?
I don't know what's their name lah, but they are like so old now. But yeah, so that was what inspired me. I feel like, wow, quite cool, right? You get someone to sit in front of you lying on the couch and then you do some hypnosis on them.
Hypnosis, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, maybe we'll talk a bit about that later.
Yeah, so that was what.
I think you liberated Pastor Cindy.
Why?
Because TVB is useful.
It is.
So-
That's like my comfort.
For those of you who are not from the collective community, Pastor Cindy is one of our pastors. We dearly love her.
Yeah.
She watches a lot of TVB.
A lot.
It's helpful.
I know no one knows this, but our head of sound right now, he's handling the sound here for our show as well. His wife also watches TVB, so it works. It's useful.
Yeah.
It is.
I also, you know what? People think I'm a banana, but I also watch a lot of TVB growing up.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it started with like I told you, Tony Leong, Zhang Wai Kit. He was like this CID police cadet.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, you were like me just born or something. So
We're not that far apart.
yeah. What was your favorite TVB show, Pastor Keith?
I watch Channel 8, bro.
Channel 8, Singapore.
Yeah. My 赵星驰 is in Mandarin.
Okay,
Shao Ji.
我喜欢去.
these two are from the same city.
Yeah, we are the JB
Born and
people.
bred from Johor Bahru,
Yeah,
JB.
yeah.
A city that I visit every now and then as a kid because I have family there. So yeah, I kind of know
And your favorite
some.
food is Oni.
Orni.
Only
Yes.
Sanlo.
Oh my gosh, these JB people.
Yeah, but I watched after I came to KL.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just started getting into the trend. So I think my first few must be Forensic Heroes.
My favorites were, and I know them in the English title only lah. This is one called Cold Blood, Warm Heart.
Wow.
Don't know.
Don't know.
In the Threshold of an Era. Don't know. Okay,
Don't know.
never mind. It
I
shows a
know.
different era.
創世紀
I
is
know.
what? 創世紀 is what? 創世紀.
創世紀, that's the one.
創世紀.
That's the one.
創世紀.
That is
Okay,
the
okay,
one.
okay.
The one where they split to two parts one. Like,
Yes, yes.
goes on forever.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a great start.
It's about mental health,
It's
right?
about mental health.
Not TVB.
Maybe the facts, I don't know.
Okay.
But you think about it, because of that, she became who she is, and now she's helping a lot of people. So maybe you tell us, what do you do actually? What does a counselor? Because okay, we have different terminology. There's counselor, there's therapist, there's psychologist, there's clinical psychologist.
Right.
Maybe you can just break it down for us. Like, what are the differences?
Right. So you have counselor, psychologist, and psychiatrist. So psychiatrists are doctors, medical doctors,
Okay.
where they can prescribe medicines, right? Antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicines. Then you have psychologists and counselors, which we are pretty much the same. The only difference is that psychologists are able to diagnose. So for example, if someone comes to us and say that I feel like I'm really depressed, I don't know what's happening in my life. So we said, okay, you look really severe. Maybe let me refer you to a psychologist. And a psychologist can then look through your symptoms and officially diagnose you as clinical depressed. Yeah.
But these are clinical psychologists.
So in Malaysia, there is only clinical psychologists.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's just say,
Of course, you also have
Generally.
educational psychologists, developmental psychologists, but they are like the not so mainstream here
so
in
these
Malaysia.
are the people who have a psychology background, but they
Correct.
do mainly research. and-
Research or in the education scene.
I see.
Yeah, they develop content maybe for the kids and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what clinical psychologists do. And then counselors, we focus heavily on intervention, like therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, we are commonly known as therapists. Yeah, but therapist is really just an overarching name.
So therapist is the blanket state or blanket title
Yeah.
that covers these
Yeah, if you are
the professionals.
providing therapy, you are a therapist.
It's
Yeah.
like doctor, but
correct,
different
correct.
kinds of
Pretty
doctor,
much,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you started your own practice. Is that what we call it? A practice?
Yes, I started my own practice. I actually did not start my practice right after I graduated because in Malaysia with a degree you cannot practice. So if
Okay.
you are to actually see someone and that person only has a degree and claim that they are a licensed whatever, please don't fall into it.
Okay.
You need that somebody needs to at least go through masters. Yeah. So after degree I started working in the corporate setting. Then it was only until like midway I decided to pursue my masters. Then came MCO. COVID.
Okay.
So it was COVID and there was a surge in everybody was asking, hey, you do counselling, right? Are you able to give talks? So that's how it got started and I decided that, hey, maybe after MCO, I can actually just start an actual physical clinic.
I see. And how long has it been running?
2.5, 3 years.
2.5, 3
Yeah.
years. Okay. And if I were to ask you right now, the split of your time between your HR role and this one, like what's the weightage like?
I I don't know, 50-50. It doesn't look like that every week.
I see. Yep.
Yeah,
but
on
generally-
some weeks, I would have a lot of training to do, like the more corporate side of things, managing paperwork as well. Then there are some weeks where I have to focus a lot more on therapy, workshops, mental health related workshops. Yeah, so it doesn't really have like a regular look.
Okay. So, in terms of your background, digging further deeper, you're also a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
You are.
So you also you have a Christian background. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about your faith journey as well, growing up, and how did you come to know God? Yeah.
My late mom was a very pious Christian. So growing up, she would be like, you need to come to church. But I had a very pious late grandma who believed in a very pious Buddhist grandma. So I followed her most of the time. So my mom was like, no, you really need to become a Christian. Cannot believe in that kind of religion. So there was a battle until my grandma passed away. Then my mom was like, yes.
Okay. Wow.
No lah, she didn't say that lah. Okay, it's just that. Okay, now you have to come and follow me to church. So my first need to censor this part. Sorry. The first service that I attended. They were saying that you need to come and attend this service because that's where gold dust will fall.
Oh, this is interesting.
Gold dust.
How old were you?
13.
13. Okay. This is in JB, yeah?
In J.
Okay, all right.
You sure it's not a Tinkerbell show?
Okay,
It's a gold dust service.
No.
So did gold dust appear? in this service?
No. So my mom wanted to impress me and really want me to know that God is real, right? So she invited me to this service that apparently gold dust will fall. And nope, gold dust did not fall from heaven. The pastor came and said, let's pray for you, and make me pray this sinner's prayer, which then I only realized it later.
So you
And
were
I
con lah.
was forced, cheated into
the faith.
into faith. Not very glamour, but that was how I started. Then they passed me a booklet, right? The usual, how
The tracks and all those.
it's just a comic book, like how
Oh.
Jesus died and then
Okay.
resurrected. So I went home feeling really angry that I'm like, no, I'm not a Christian. I went back to the Guan Ma in my house. I'm like, no, I did not betray you. Yeah, but that's when the story actually started.
Wow.
It was actually few days later I decided to pick up that comic book in so much anger and decided to give it a read.
Why? Because you really I got con. This is not real. You promised me gold dust. There was no gold dust. Why?
Yeah.
What made you?
I don't know. It's just that I just felt like I needed to read that book and see what is it about.
Okay.
So it's just a really thin book, like just few pages, right? But after I finished it, I don't know what got into me. I started crying.
Wow.
And I just felt this sense of, I think I want to believe in you. I don't know who you are. And I just was speaking about it. Makes me feel very emotional right now. And I actually read the last page of Sinner's Prayer again by myself in the room. So that was how it actually started. Not the night where gold dust did not fall, but it was like a week later. So I always have this belief that, don't belittle that booklet that we send out to newcomers every week. You really never know.
Do not belittle the gold dust invite as well.
Yes. That was my story.
I know it's maybe not related, but why was your mom so convinced? Did she see the gold dust?
No, but she memang like more spiritual one.
Okay,
So she would, she would dance in spirit and all that kind of thing. yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know about this, right?
Yeah. Keith, you're gonna ask something.
You were 13?
13.
Wow. Now I want to ask which church. Just kidding. No, you don't have to.
But you know what? Growing up, I heard about these stories as well. Not just gold dust, but there was one season where there was gold filling in the teeth, where people had a miraculous gold filling. I don't know whether they now must go extract or what. I don't know, but it was that era.
Wow, yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that for sure it wasn't God or for sure. These are the things that I don't know. I don't want to. I think that's not the point of this conversation. But I think it's really important to really hear this story. I mean, I've known you for a long time. I wouldn't say, I definitely don't know you very well. I've known you for a long time, but just to hear this story, like, wow, never thought that it was like that. And how was it after that then? Like, how did your journey of faith, like, how did you get to know God more after that comic book experience?
Well, it wasn't like, like flipping a page on a book lah. I did not go to church immediately because I didn't want to go with my mom. So uncool. Like, she was always with the aunties and uncle. So it was just like, I don't know, doing nothing with that little faith that I had from that little book. But eventually my mom started inviting me to her cell group. Yeah, then that's when her cell group leader started spending more time with me, teaching me guitar. Yeah. So, and I was the only young person in the cell group because the rest are auntie, uncle, right? So naturally, he went like, why don't you just learn guitar and then you can play for us? So started doing that, then started attending church with uncle, aunties. I still did not join the youth group. So it grew from there.
Wow.
But there was a lot of spiritual warfare though, if we are going to that. But maybe
we
not.
are going to that. What do you mean by spiritual warfare? For people who are not familiar with that kind of terminology.
How do I want to explain? Maybe Pastor Keith should explain.
Pastor Keith, maybe you give Lynnette a break. She's been talking
maybe
for quite
my
a while.
impression also not the right.
Why suddenly? I thought we were talking about mental health.
It's related.
It's related. I joined a very charismatic church as well. Yeah, Signs and Wonders. I think my first supernatural experience was demon casting.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally saw that person being prayed and then jumped maybe about 3-4 feet, like just like the Dragon Ball kind of like, or Street Fighter kind of. It was really just supernatural. There's no way to pretend that or act that out. So I was very impressed. But I think I was searching for which was the strongest God. I think I have no problem having many gods because I came from a Taoist background. So I have different idols at home. So I think I just want to search for the most powerful one.
So you have your own personal UFC of gods. And
yes.
fight and see who wins.
And growing up watching those shows like the Feng Shen Bang, Leagues of God. So they will fight to see who is the winner, right? So I have no problem hearing about Jesus. So when the demon was cast, so I think I found like, wow, you're really powerful. Yeah, so that's my experience. So when it comes to spiritual warfare, I think it's a lot that what we say in the beginning of our faith is we walk by faith and not by sight. So not everything that is controlling the world, not everything that you are experiencing, not everything that is manifesting can just be seen with your physical eyes. I think that's spiritual warfare. So we will go fasting, praying, so that we can cast out demons, so that we can turn someone to Jesus because there are spiritual forces working behind.
Yeah.
It's not that this person don't understand the gospel, but this person has not experienced. So many times we will quote verses where Paul says that my preaching is not just words, but a demonstration of the power of God. So that word power is being used a lot in our Friday night prayer meeting. So my church back home has Friday night prayer meetings for the past 30 over years without stop. So they are always praying always interceding, always praying against spiritual forces that's stopping us from advancing the kingdom of God. I think that's my understanding about spiritual warfare. Of course, the teaching of like, supposedly the prayer has to be answered and reach Daniel, but then it was stopped halfway by...
They were fighting,
I think the angel Michael was fighting against the forces. So there they declared a fast. So we call it the Daniel fast, 21 days of not eating meat. So in order for that prayer to reach, so the imagination of like, okay, I'm an angel. I want to bring a blessing to you. But in the middle of it, I have to fight many devils to reach you. So your job is at least to pray so that it will reach you. I think that's spiritual warfare. And of course, the prophetic movement, moving into that, somehow, when the prophet prophesied, and is pinpoint accurate. That he has never seen you, he has not known you a single day, but he just called out exactly. That's I think the most spiritual side of my faith. Yeah, and spiritual warfare, it's really just not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of God that we should advance and conquer and get our breakthrough.
Yeah.
I think that's my experience. Yeah, and that's the kind of church that I was brought up.
So was it similar for you, Lynnette?
Mine was a little bit more like, ooh, like creepy.
Creepy, okay.
Yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of power of darkness, hovering and following. Like I always feel like there's something following me, and I didn't know about this back then.
Okay.
So I don't think I imagined it, but that was my experience.
You felt it, or
Yeah, like I felt it. Like I could see things, but not vividly, but I just felt it. So there was a lot of those things, especially when I try to attend church more often, attend cell groups more often. Yeah. So
Have
that
you
was-
been delivered before?
Yes.
Yes.
so were you the one that flew like 5 feet?
No. Yeah.
You were curling or you were crying?
Saw
Sorry.
it.
Not
Spoke in
so
the voice of a
much.
man.
So that is also the part, right? That I
Did
feel
6 men
like
hold you?
no. I thought I wanted a bit more dramatic experience, but
Crawl
it
up the ceiling.
didn't.
No.
But that was also the part, right? Because then after that, I went to, that few years was just like, trying to figure it out, having all these different experiences. Then when I studied psychology, I actually learned that this could be just in your mind.
Yeah.
Ah.
And that's actually what I wanted to ask you. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you went there, because the reason why I wanted to know your background is, and I didn't know about this.
Yeah, you did not.
I want to know like how it informs your practice today.
Yeah.
How does it
Yeah.
inform how you do what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a little bit more context. So whenever some of the experiences I had was, how we would pray in congregation, and then people would start moving, and then some of them would start falling back. So at first I was like, whoa, this must be some power, right? Then why do I not get it? Is it because God don't love me enough? Or is it because I'm not good enough? So I have all these questions. Then when I go back to like uni and I study, there is also this segment where we learn about group hypnosis. Say lor. Group hypnosis means that when you are in a group, or like with a group of people, and everybody started doing the same thing, you kind of move together as well. Like you are being hypnotized collectively.
Okay.
So that point, I had like a lot of questions. Like, was it even then God? Or it's just in our head? It's just us doing things together, short sendiri,
It reminds me of this. You heard of Darren Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Magic.
It reminds me of, I think he calls himself a mentalist, where he had an episode where he actually
Went to heaven.
performed. He did it in a theater, I think, and he performed like a healing.
Oh, yes.
And it's so familiar. It's so close to home, because I see this. I mean, I grew up
Yes,
and I still
yes.
am seeing this in church.
Yes.
And he says, you know what? It's adrenaline. And yes, this person had a leg or knee issue, and that person felt, I think it was a woman, that she was healed. But he said, you know what? Actually, you're running on adrenaline. And similar as well, when the group, everyone's believing together in faith, and there was this expectation,
This vibration.
this energy that was
energy.
there. So how do you grapple with that, where you have a belief and a faith, and then you study about all these kind of things that seems to be it's a con job lah, How do you marry those thoughts, or maybe you're still in conflict right now? I just want to know where you are, like how you think about it.
I don't think I'm in conflict right now anymore.
Okay.
But at that time I was, and I was already in collective. Yeah, that time. So every time when there is like a service like that, I always question like, what is this? Like, okay, I want to stay sane. I want to see actually, does it reach me or not if I'm conscious? I don't have a very profound answer to it, but what changed my encounter was, there was this service when everybody was doing all sort of stuff, and I was there standing, like how in the movie, things are just moving, and then you're like the only sane person standing. And I was asking all these questions, and the only inaudible voice, if you would like, that actually spoke back was, if you trust me enough, then these questions, you would want to just allow it to remain as questions and just stay curious. I do not have an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But am I curious? Am I open enough to just experience these experiences as is and still trust that all this comes from God? So that was then, and I was probably maybe 19 back then. But today, the way I marry is I learn more about the brain.
Okay.
I learn more about how our body works. It's true that when you start believing that, or when you start seeing that something is helpful, your body starts to change. It's what placebo effect, basically,
Okay.
right? You start believing that, just because I pop this pill, I'm going to be treated, I'm going to be healed. And things do change in your body, physically and emotionally. But I also learned that who created this body is God lah. Right? So that's how I marry this together. And believe that if I truly believe that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, then whatever synapses that is in my brain that caused this to happen is from God. So that's me. I don't know if anyone else have other thoughts.
Pastor Keith, any thoughts?
I would believe that I'm also quite inquisitive, and I love the science. So I have imagination that all of us actually has a frequency. And then a lot of times when we talk about word of wisdom, word of knowledge, unknowingly I tap into your frequency and I'll be able to sense your fear or sense your trauma, and hence I'm able to speak it out. So I imagine a lot of these things. As a pastor, I'm just being honest. But there's something that I cannot answer is like, who asked my heart to beat? Like who? It felt like as an engineer, someone must push the start button. It cannot just. Someone seems to be, you start. So that got my faith very much intact, that I believe someone commanded the heart to have the first beat, and then the heart won't stop until someone allows it to stop. Of course, if you can self-harm, but to me, as I trace deeper and deeper, I just feel that it cannot be so many coincidences. It cannot be so many. So I come to the conclusion that it's just beautifully designed. There's an architect behind.
There's an intelligent design behind it.
So what we are discovering, let's say I can really use this hypnosis, and I can use this medication. I just feel that it has already been there. We are just constantly exploring the things that this creator is hiding. A lot of mystery, and I think he is having a lot of joy seeing us just unfolding these mysteries. So that's my perspective. And when we couldn't explain that our brain could hold so much, he already created it like that. Now we are going back to, that's the full capacity. That's the original design. We are supposed to be able to do this and do that, to thrive in this environment and to take that kind of stress. I think the original design when he created us was already there. So when we discover what he has already created, we shouldn't doubt him. I think it goes wrong when we started doubting him. We said,
But can people fake it? I think can lah. Right?
I mean, when you talk about it, one of those YouTube videos where you just suddenly go down the rabbit hole. I've watched one before where they talk about Nikola Tesla said that, everything in the world is about frequency, vibration, and energy. But if you think about it, when God created the world, He spoke.
yes,
It is a vibration.
You are right.
It is a frequency. It is an energy. And whether can it be manipulated? I grew up in quite a similar church background as well. And as you all know,
Charismatic.
Music is my thing. Trust me, I know what chords to play to make you feel a certain way. But is it wrong? Because to me, it's like that's exactly same thoughts. That's how God has wired us to be. That's how God wired us to respond emotionally to a certain, again, what is music but frequency and vibration and sound, right? Can someone manipulate it in a bad way? Of course, like anything, it can be. But I believe that's how, I'm pretty much on the same page. That's how God has wired us to be. And as someone who is serving in that capacity, it is a tool. It's a tool for me to use. Like how if I speak, if I use certain words, am I being manipulative, or am I just trying to communicate it as best as I can,
Yeah.
a certain truth?
Right.
I see it that way as well. Yeah.
But that's psychology, which is a bit different from mental health. I mean, they're all from the
Yeah.
same stream. Like psychology is human psychology, but mental health is more practical, right? Like that is just the foundation or the concept behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So in terms of mental health, in when you practice what you practice, and also having this faith background, I'm wondering, in what areas do you see alignment, and in what areas do you like, there's this contradiction there, or if there is, or you wish sometimes like, okay, I wish the church maybe will practice helping them not this way, based on what you've learned. Yeah, you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I really think that the concepts behind psychology, mental health is actually very aligned with God and biblical concepts. It's the culture in church that I feel
Okay.
sometimes is not very helpful. Would I get cancelled?
who cares? no, just kidding.
Okay. I can share with
Yeah.
you. Like, I think when I first started practicing, or at least learning to like delve deeper into counselling, there is always this. I would say the biggest difference that I've experienced would be pastoral counselling versus secular counselling.
Okay.
So what I experience with pastoral counselling is really throwing the Bible at you and telling you that you cannot do this because the Bible says this.
Okay.
So I think people have this idea that if you go for secular counselling means you don't follow the Bible. But if you go for Bible counselling, a biblical counselling or pastoral counselling means you can only must follow what the scripture says, which I think a lot of times is very surface lah. Like how much do we actually know enough to interpret? Like a lot of things have to be put into context, right? Yeah, but I think a lot of times in pastoral counselling, it's taken out of context. Like, oh, you cannot do this. Full stop. You need to honor your parents. Cannot talk back no matter what they do to you. But if your parents are abusive, then how? Like,
Violent.
there's no such.
I think there's not enough nuance.
Yeah.
It's
It's very binary.
black and white.
Very black and white.
1 or 0, right?
Correct. So I feel that is the biggest difference. Whereas in secular, I think we pay more attention to this person's experience.
Okay.
What exactly are you going through? Like what family situation, finances? Do you have enough means to go against your parents? You know, all these things we take into consideration, which I think is very human. Which I feel sometimes in the pastoral counselling, we don't see much of that.
So like you said, in terms of principles, there's pretty much alignment. It's more of how we practice the culture, and maybe even taking the word of God out of context and not even understanding it enough.
Yeah. I think there is also this common misconception that, if you go see a therapist outside, you will abandon your faith. You know, you won't need to believe in God anymore. You'll start believing in yourself more.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So are these real issues that you've encountered in do I call them clients or patients? Clients. So these are real ones that you've experienced with them. How do you help them then?
She sponsored them.
Come under my wings.
She bought me my first therapy session.
Okay.
Yeah, she paid for me as a Christmas gift and got me.
So to literally psycho you into believing in therapy.
So
So how do you marry this in actual practice? Like, how do you help a Christian who he's struggling with this as well, in different kinds of advice from different people?
This is such a big question. How do I even start?
Start from wherever you.
I think first of all, I don't like the idea of dividing spiritual and psychological. I don't think we should. So whoever that walks through my door, if I know, I'll usually check, like, are you a faith-based person? Would you like that in our therapy session?
Okay.
So if they say they're open to it, then our conversations will surround that lah. You know, we'll go around God and faith and spirituality. What does it mean to you? And I would want to know, what are their shoulds and musts that they carry behind them? Because I think growing up as a Christian, not since birth, but I know that we learn a lot of shoulds and musts. Like, I should do this, I should do that. I should forgive. But where got so easy? You want to forgive and forgive me?
You're right.
Then this person comes feeling like, I think I'm not a good Christian because I cannot forgive. So not only they are in pain, they are stuck in the belief that if I cannot forgive, then something is wrong with me fundamentally as a Christian.
So you have that guilt attached to it
Correct.
as well, more on top of whatever you're going
Correct. Yeah. So I kind of have to help them dissect that, but not dismissing the fact that maybe, because I'm not God, right? Who am I to say that you're right or I'm right, right? Maybe you're right. But my direction is always, my North Star is always, there's this, whatever philosophy or thoughts that you have, does it bring you closer to God? Or does it isolate you from Him? I think that's the last thing I want them to experience. Like, if this so-called theology is putting you in shame, I don't think God wants us to do that.
Yeah.
So I want them to be able to talk about it in a very safe space. So sometimes knowing that I'm also Christian, that holds them back.
Okay.
They feel like, maybe I would judge them.
It's funny, right? That I thought there would be more, gosh, she's Christian, she should understand where I'm coming from. But actually, wow.
Maybe our reputation as Christian.
I think going for a therapy in Malaysia is still a shame.
Okay.
I would still say that very publicly, and people still associate it with neoping. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's something wrong about your brain. That's why you need someone.
Yeah. So you mentioned just now that you were given a Christmas gift as a pastor.
Yes.
And going through therapy. What's your experience like?
Nervous in the beginning, unsure, very unsure. But at the same time, in all honesty, I love learning. I love being in a new environment my whole life. I love to be put in a new classroom and to just explore, I think, since young. And it was a very humbling experience. Really, I don't think I properly thank you. But I appreciate what you've done. We have discussed a lot of things over the years because me as a corporate coach and learning a lot about HR, human behavior, I also ask a lot of questions to her about how to handle things that are probably not using too much of a pastoral lens, but in a professional lens. I've always asked, she's always consulted her. So in that experience, it was my first time sitting on the other side of the chair. I've always been sitting on his chair, my first therapy. I think the first maybe 15 to 20 minutes, I was just trying to figure out what is he trying to do to me. Yeah, why he asked this question. Where is he getting to? Oh, I know that. I know what you're trying to do. Until I come to recognize that that's just my pride. That's just me trying to not accept that I need help. That's just a pastoral front of me trying to just play to be strong because they are professionals. So unknowingly, I was just brought into a session. He was very patient. And I think he said something that got me in. In the very beginning, his framing is every session with me, it's complete. Yeah, so I think maybe it was his tactic to dismantle my ego or whatever. He said, you don't have to see me. Every session is full. I'm not looking to another session. So that gave me a lot of safety. And then I started to describe my issue with my anxieties. I started to I told him that I never had issues like that before pandemic. I was always out, going about, loving my life, helping people. I feel blessed. I feel grateful for my family. I told him, I remember that day, I said, I can't find anything wrong with me that I should be upset and anxious about. The problem is, I don't see any problem that is life-threatening, that is big enough to defeat me. So I think I was trying to be my own doctor. I was trying to diagnose myself. I was trying to regulate myself, telling myself that I'm fine, I'm okay. And that's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is when you think you can handle everything. I think that itself is a big problem. Thinking too highly of yourself, that then why people come and see me? Am I labeling them as weak? You understand?
Yep.
So sitting on the other chair, I saw my own pride. I have to let it go. And I started with, he said, don't start with your upbringing. Don't even start with your grandma's story, unless there's a trauma. If you don't have, you don't have to go there. Wow, like this guy is different. He doesn't want to hear my grandma's story. I said, so what are you struggling now? Yeah, so I was telling him that I felt disintegrated. I felt I'm all over. I can't focus. My breathing is shallow. So he said, so what are some of the things at the top of your mind? So he was just helping me. Then he said, that's a lot, right? Yeah. Do you hear yourself? That's a lot, right? I said, yeah. Anything you can let go? So he was helping me to process. It was not that scary. And then suddenly I realized that, yeah, if every ball that I'm juggling are glass balls, no wonder I'm anxious. So then he will call out, these things like, is that true? That you really cannot fail, you cannot let go, you have to put yourself. So later on, she got me another session with another therapist. So I think she's
Can you
into
see
this. Yeah.
what I'm trying to do?
So she's the therapist behind the therapist. But that is totally another very interesting experience.
So, how Keith described his experience, would there have been a similar way that you would have journeyed with a client as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I also usually don't ask them to tell me their grandma's story.
Just tell them the TVB story lah.
Yeah, I just want to know like exactly currently what are your struggles first. Then we go from there. I really think that in today's
But he did, he did explain there's a CBT, ACT.
Yes.
But that's I love things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
He said there's two ways, right? So
there are different school of thoughts lah. Yeah. So there's also a reason why I would recommend him to that therapist because I know he would be like it fits him.
So just for the
therapy
audience who may not know, CBT and ACT. So what are they?
CBT means cognitive behavioral therapy, which focuses a lot on how you can change your thoughts and therefore change your behavior and change how you feel. Okay, I call it the T loop: thoughts, emotions, actions.
Thoughts, emotions, actions. TEA.
TEA, the T loop.
T loop. Okay,
Yeah,
the T,
so
literally the T. Okay.
So you change the way you think, you will feel differently, and then you feel differently, you will act differently, and it reinforces
Thoughts, emotions,
itself.
actions.
So that's CBT. ACT is acceptance commitment therapy, which is like the grandchild of CBT,
Okay.
so-called, that focuses on that belief that you can't change every thought. If you can change, then everyone will be very happy. You can't layer thoughts with thoughts. Just because you just by telling I want to think positive. No, you're not gonna feel great and great.
But that's how we are taught.
Yeah. So I like
Mind
ACT.
over matter.
Yeah, mind over matter. So I really like ACT because it anchors a lot of values. What is important to you? And if that is so important to you, can we learn how to distance our feelings with our behavior so that I can still act according to my value? So it's the concept of you don't have to do it. You don't have to feel it to do it. You can do it in spite of how you feel.
It's similar to what was it, the term embodied connection or something like that, where you smile because you're happy, but you also be happy because you smile.
Yeah. So it's true that we didn't know back then. We didn't know this language that actually within us there's this T right in us that we can actually learn to diffuse ourselves from that emotion. So with that expanded head space, you get to choose more. And what do you want to choose? You get to choose how you want to act according to who you want to be. What really matters to you. So that's ACT.
Have you ever come across in your experience a situation where, man, whatever that I've learned, whatever training I've got is beyond. This is spiritual. I don't want to separate it, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That these are the dark forces that you mentioned earlier that you have experienced as well. Like, man, this is really out of what I know in terms of my
No, I have not.
Okay.
But the other way, yes, that that what seems to be a spiritual case, like a demon possessed case, turned out to be a psychosis.
I see.
Yeah, because I also work in a hospital for a short while, so I dealt with patients, mainly schizophrenic and
Borderline.
MDD, borderline, massive depressive disorder, and all sort of that stuff. So a lot of people coming in giving symptoms like they are as if they are demon possessed, but turn out they are not. With medication, symptoms can be managed. Yeah,
Hearing voices,
seeing things.
seeing things.
Yeah.
So could it be both true as well, that it was actually a demonic oppression, but the way that we actually help that person it's actually both prayer as well as therapy and medication?
Yeah.
What's the key? Like, any thoughts?
Okay, personally, I felt if we really break this thing, I think whoever we call devil or Satan, I think he's extremely cunning and smart. The way that he breaks us down with the purpose of pulling us away from God, I think cannot just be one way of, I possess you, I possess you. I think he's not that dumb. There are many ways for him to distract us. So because his ultimate goal is clear, and that is to draw you away from God or away from the ways of God. I have to say that in the beginning of my pastoral journey, I only know one tool, that is prayer. Most of the time it's the lack of faith. It's the main problem. But as I grow older, then I realized that, all things can be solved through love. So then I would think that, okay, this person is always a father issue. It's always no love,
This
no
way you must tell
recognition.
your grandma's story lah.
Yeah. No love, no recognition. So I think then slowly I realized that, it's not just faith, it's not just love. Some people are just not capable. Not capable as in, if a person is coughing, you cannot keep telling them don't cough. There's a lot of blind spots to the way that they live their lives that has compounded to where they have become, to where they have thoughts, things that are supposed to be like that. Then I begin to understand that a lot of times it is not just a lack of faith or a lack of love, but people has to be rehabilitated in a way to understand their foundation all over again. I can give you a lot of prayer and then you suddenly felt free, but you go back to your lifestyle. I can give you a lot of love. After a while, you get that grace, you abuse it, then you keep going back to that lifestyle. So to me,
People need tools, right?
yeah, Christianity has to be expanded in a way that not everything can be solved through just a good heart.
Yep.
You must hand them the right tools.
Yeah. Because we always go back to Jesus.
Yes.
Even in the miracles that he performed, after he healed someone, after he set someone free, he always says, now go and sin no more.
You're right.
Which means,
Change your lifestyle.
I've done this for you.
Yeah.
But if you go back to what you used to do,
You're right.
it's not a one-stop shop miracle,
But people don't read that, you see. People don't understand that repentance is not just sorrowful. Not just
it's
feeling
changing.
sorrowful.
Repentance means basically changing the way you live,
You are
changing
right.
your mind.
You're right.
So there's always that part where Jesus says that after
Yeah.
the miracle is done.
And I guess that's where we come in.
Yeah.
How do you then sin no more?
Yeah.
So-
how do you learn how to live each moment consciously and mindfully?
And in the ancient practice of confession to the priests, this can be a modern day, it's still ordained by God that you cannot keep it inside. You got to confess it to someone and hear someone tell you that you got hope, that you can be cured, you can be forgiven. So I think the principle stays, but Christians are sometimes too just stuck up with this is the only method. Otherwise, it is not ordained by God. But I feel the whole earth is in His control. and he has created us, and he would know how we work. So I think going back to the therapist, he is a Christian.
Yeah.
He works in an NGO. I can just sense his heart, but he's also extremely smart. And I like that about people that are spiritual, at the same time intelligent. So to me, reconciling psychology or the medical field with spirituality is never an issue.
Yeah.
Never an issue, because I think when someone invented a vaccine or when someone invented a tool, if we can see that God, you have put these things for people to discover, I think we can still praise God.
Yep.
If I can just chip in, right? I feel like
Please.
the biggest learning that I have, especially in this season of my life, is learning how not to just stay put in the either or mindset.
Yep.
I feel like I've always learned about just either or. Everything is very binary, very dualistic. You either do good or if not, you're bad. You either follow or you are then disobedient. But come to realize that there is power in and, not either or but and. How do you have both at the same time? So we really don't have to separate these two, if you ask me.
Yeah. So other than sorry, you're going to say something?
I have an interesting story to follow up.
Yes.
So the following therapy supposed to be hypnosis. So I was put on this chair. I love experimenting and trying new things.
Yeah.
So a heavier blanket, dim down, reading a story, and she uses Mandarin
Okay.
because her English is not the strongest, I think. So she explained to me it's like an iceberg. Whatever that you're telling me is just a tip. I want to tap into our subconscious. So she explained the science of it, what she's trying to do, because she knows I'm a pastor and she is a believer. But the funny thing is, when I closed my eyes, when she led me to a hill, she described as I was walking, she just asked, what do you see? So you are half asleep, half awake. But at the end of the day, I said I saw a bright light. Okay, so the bright light represents wisdom. What is a bright light telling you?
As in, she said it
Yeah,
represents
she
wisdom.
said.
Okay.
So she will ask me, so I will mumble, what do you see on your left, on your right? Then I said, I saw a little boy. Who is that boy? I think it's me. How old were you? 7? Are you happy or sad? Sad. Why? Because no one is at home. So at the end of the day, it led me back to Jesus. That he said, okay, now go to the boy and tell him that it's okay. So I said, oh, it's okay. Why? Then I told the boy, now we have Jesus. Because the boy at 7 years old don't know Jesus until 16 years old. So then I shared my story with others. Then he said, oh yeah, it's very common. People always see Jesus one. He said, when I led them to the hill, they said, they always see a white figure. It's always an angel or a... So to her, it's like very common thing. At the end of the day, I don't know.
Could it be... Okay, when you say people always see Jesus, these are Christians she's talking about.
Yeah.
Is it because they want to see
I don't know.
that
But so
projecting out, you know?
Yeah.
if you trust the process, then it serves the purpose. Because at the end of the day, you tell that kid, it's okay. You've grown up. It's safe now. You don't have to feel alone anymore at home. Something like that. So I don't know
So it's interesting you mentioned because hypnotherapy. And I think a lot of times we use the term without even understanding what it really is, and I'm not sure how much variation there is from one practitioner to the next. Right?
Okay, it's not the TVB one.
Because,
Not.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
She explained to me this is
watch,
pure
you know.
science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we understand, even in the area of angels and demons, a lot of it is not informed by the Bible. It's informed by Hollywood
Yeah.
and TVB
Yeah.
Yeah.
and movies.
Yep.
But if you mention something like hypnotherapy, Pastor, you were hypnotized? Can one?
So she said, don't worry, I won't ask your bank password and you won't give me. You are not totally unconscious.
Okay.
You are aware. You know how when a speaker pray for you, then you felt like God is there.
Yep.
But when he prophesied, it's not like you cannot hear. you still can hear, but you're just very open to God.
So you're not like, not to say unconscious,
No,
but you're not in
no.
like a different level of
Altered
consciousness.
state of
Altered
consciousness.
state of,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like the iceberg, concept where we are the above line is consciousness. Like I'm aware that I'm here doing this recording. You're Kason and you're Pastor Keith. That's consciousness. But beneath that, there is this concept of individual consciousness and collective consciousness, which is really fascinating.
What is a collective consciousness?
So individual consciousness, you know,
Yeah,
right? And
okay.
do you know that that they believe that individual consciousness begins the moment you are conceived
Okay.
in your mother's womb. So you actually do have memories from input of the world, but you just because we can't access it now doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay.
So that's individual. Collective subconscious is memories, wisdom, wounds, trauma being passed down through generations.
It's like what we term generational curse in
Yes,
our
I
faith
would
kind of
believe
background,
so.
right?
Yeah, so like simple example, like maybe you have a nephew, but in your line of like immediate parents and all, none of them know how to play piano, not even musically inclined. But your nephew suddenly, wow, super talented. Maybe because like, you know, few lines above, someone in your family is very talented in piano.
Wow.
So that get passed down. So it is scientific in a sense. So genetically, like sicknesses as well.
Like even
it-
personality traits.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, you really look like your grandpa, but your child has never met your parent, for example.
So would something like more predisposition to be anxious,
yes, definitely. Yeah.
that will be also have something like a collective consciousness that gets passed down, which
Hereditary lah,
we can
yeah.
even look at it as generation curse or whatever you call it, right?
Yeah. So if we can tap into that, I think it's not so much of figuring out who you are, you know, in your past life. It's nothing about that. It's helping you to individuate, like from this consciousness, what are some of the things that are subconscious but you want to bring up so that you merge it together, that you become more wholesome.
Because
holistic.
a lot of your decisions are subconscious,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. So if you can highlight that and you know that, this is why I reacted this way to this person every time because something happened in the past. I didn't know. So now that I know, I get to change. I get to choose. So it's just really increasing that locus of control
So
by
if we-
being more aware.
So if we think about it, like what you mentioned, collective consciousness
Yeah.
versus generation curse, could it be just a problem of language? One of the problems that we are talking about the same thing. We kind of like have a lot of alignment, but different terminology and
Yeah.
language that we use that think that we're actually more opposed than we are.
I would definitely think so. I feel like psychology is just language that helps us identify concepts and nuances that was already there in the
Yeah.
Bible. Yeah, I think there were so many instances of that. I truly believe in that.
I just thought of a question and for Lynnette. And I don't know how many pastors you know really well personally. Do you think pastors should go for therapy?
Yeah.
Like regularly?
I think everyone
Oi.
should go for therapy.
Otherwise, why would she buy me?
I think everyone should go for therapy. I mean, if you think that you don't have an issue,
Yeah.
going therapy help you hone your skills to
so-
ask the right
yeah,
questions.
because there's a culture, I think, among certain pastors in the West, mainly America or whatever, right? That they are very public about it. I just saw my therapist this week.
Yeah.
To them, it's like, I just went for my weekly
Run.
my weekly Cairo session,
Yeah,
or my
yeah.
weekly run, right? And it seems to help them a lot. Would this be something you actually recommend? Yeah, not just pastors, but everyone.
100%. I feel like especially if you're in a position of influence, maybe all the more so, because you have people under your care. That if you want to make sure that you're in a good condition all the time because you're constantly giving, I think it's helpful. And also one thing that I've been meaning to share about mental health is that what differentiates secular counselling with pastoral counselling in terms of techniques, I think we want to always address the longing. Like, to long is human, so we actually spend a lot of time, a lot of grace listening to what does this person long for, and try to help them make sense of it, make sense of the pain that they carry. So maybe not everyone needs therapy, but I truly believe that everyone needs a way to make sense of their pain. And sometimes when we go to pastors, we don't get that because we get thrown Bible verses. Like, this is the solution.
This used to be a pet peeve, huh? Throwing Bible verses. Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
Other than this part, because I mean we live in the world of God. It's
Yep.
just how it's handled
Yep.
and how it's used.
Absolutely, yes.
Other than that, what would you say is, pastors, can you all just stop doing this? In terms of addressing this issue, can you just stop doing this because it doesn't help? And yeah, maybe you could try another method.
I think sometimes, as much as pastors believe in therapy, in casual conversations, there are still jokes being made around it. And I feel that one should be stopped.
On public platform, we say we believe in it, but
Yeah.
there's still a social stigma that
Yeah. Or like,
we joke about it.
Yeah, or remarks like, hey, therapist coming already.
I'm sure you get that, huh? So
Yes. So it's like, then whatever you say on public actually don't mean anything. Yeah, don't mean anything.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
For me, I think I told you I'm on a mission that I want to make this public so that people don't treat it as a shame. We all do need help. The first time you go for a swim class, it's awkward. It's you are uncoordinated. I think the first time that you go and seek help, you will be nervous as well. But after a while, it's such a blessing. But therapy not cheap also lah, honestly.
I know.
Yeah, it's
So
not
okay,
cheap
so
also.
since you thought about this, because
Yeah.
I wanted to go there as well. That's probably one of the biggest hindrances.
I-
The truth is, pastor is free, ma.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if I see you as a coach differently, I got to pay money. So I see you as a
Correct.
pastor, lor.
You're right.
So, what are the price ranges? First of all, the question: what is the price range like? And secondly, it's like, do you get what you pay for or not? So if you pay cheaper, means the quality of service is lower. So let's start with what's the price range like?
Full-fledged therapists, you can get as low as 150 all the way to 400-500, even 600-700 per hour.
Okay.
Yeah. But to second question, actually, I would really recommend seeing provisional therapies, meaning like interns. So like for myself, I supervise interns, and we only charge like a minimum 50 ringgit per hour.
Okay.
But what you get is not just the interns' treatment or their intervention. You also get us behind them because we supervise every session. Yeah, we make sure that they bring their case back to us and we conceptualize together. We
Okay,
talk about
see.
case protocol together. So you're actually getting double quality. And also give them a chance.
It's not like a junior hairstylist, you know.
No.
But I got an intern for my wisdom tooth.
Oh.
It was traumatizing.
That's different. That's almost like getting a junior
No,
hairstylist.
the professor was there in the room.
Okay.
But the professor said, "Why you cut like that? Why you cut like that?"
He intervened, but it was too late.
Stop. It was all
Oh my gosh.
bleeding, and I paid $50 for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
if it is a specialist.
But this is different.
I cannot guarantee, maybe yes, because but okay, I think truth is even a full-fledged dentist can
Okay.
also make boo-boo like this, right? You can't guarantee that, right? Can we? Trying to
Lesser
salvage.
chance.
But yeah, so I wouldn't say the price matters, but the experience, yes. So do look out for people who really have a few years of experience.
So will it also be a case of how we connect between the therapist and the client? Let's just say if after one or two sessions I feel I just can't connect with this person.
It's okay to change. Yeah,
So-
don't feel bad about
I mean, I'm
it.
just asking because
Yeah.
I mean it's normal and it
Yes.
happens, you know.
It
It's just
happens.
a matter of matching, you know.
Correct.
A
And I
mismatch.
always say this in my first session. I say if you feel like we don't vibe, or you don't like my style, or you feel like cannot connect, it's okay. You don't have to feel bad. You don't even have to tell me or justify it. Just don't see me the next session. And it's okay. Like I want them
Because
to
some
know
people may like, oh, actually I'm the problem, you know, and then they want to try harder and
Correct.
put in more effort, you know.
Pleasing your therapist is a very significant thing that I notice. Like people want to do the right thing to please.
Okay,
But that itself is the problem lah. So
Yeah. I
we
see.
we will actually address that.
I see.
I kind of like can anticipate and hear the audience probably ask, then is hypnotherapy okay or not?
From what perspective?
As a Christian.
You asking me?
Actually, we're asking you
No.
as a pastor. I mean, you went for it, obviously you think it's okay, right?
Yeah. Okay, so she also concluded my session very briefly. Most of them diagnosed that I just have too much on my plate. And I tell you, the interesting thing is at the end of the day, she tracked my liquid consumption. The second one, she felt like because of my habit, I don't drink enough water. And she will ask things like, do you have dry lips? Then she will track my sleep pattern. And then she will track my community, my relationship with my people. So it's very, I don't know, I can't vouch for every hypnotherapist, but as a Christian, I think she practiced very sound principles. But maybe just don't let my experience block you. Just go for a normal therapy, is fine. It's okay. I was just out of curiosity. I just want to try different things. The next one I might try for another, because I've done ACT before. I might want to try CBT. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well done. I noticed your glass is almost empty. So
Yeah.
liquid consumption.
Drink water. It helps with your mental health.
Okay. I know we've gone on for a bit, but I want to ask this as well. Of late, therapy that includes substances have been getting more popular. Okay, in Malaysia, maybe not, but ayahuasca retreats and all these psychedelics.
Yep.
I want to know both your views. One from a professional standpoint in the counselling world, and also as a pastor, do you think it's okay for someone to experience something like that? Let's start with Lynnette.
Personally, I know what is it, but because I'm not trained in it, I don't think I have enough information to say whether I want to subscribe to it. But on the get-go, it's not something that I would be very much interested in. It's a little bit similar to what the impression I used to have towards hypnotherapy. Using substance, microdosing, whatever, it's a form of quick fixes. Like it brings you to a state that help you achieve what you want to achieve faster. Increase focus, less rumination. But I cannot guarantee that what if that becomes another sort of dependency. So you don't know how to get to that state yourself. And I don't want my clients to go through that. Yeah. Also, to use this, it has to be very, very controlled.
Yeah.
So not everyone can do.
They have also their licensed practitioners as
Correct.
well.
And not just the therapists themselves, but also clients, patients. Not everyone is susceptible or suitable for this kind of treatment. You must be you have treatment resistant issues. You cannot.
Yeah, because the stories I've read about,
Yeah.
and again, it's just stories, is that they've tried everything. And yes, they even say they've tried God. And it never helped until they went, I think this one that I read about is ayahuasca. All these war veterans who have PTSD from the war and things like
Yes.
that, the only thing that helped them was ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So I read stories like that as well.
I feel if that can help them kickstart a healing journey, but they can stop before it becomes a form of dependency, I'm open to it.
Okay.
I'm open to it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think enough research has been done to validate. I probably would suggest more of a psychiatrist. I've known of people that just couldn't function without the medication, and I think no shame in that. I think we're all on a journey. I really feel that we should be open to science as well. I think it's part of the domain of God. They're one part of how God has created this world. In terms of psychedelic or any microdosing, I personally won't encourage because I think it develops a reliance.
Yep.
And just to address that, now I met with a police inspector from narcotics that more and more people are depending on vapes that has drugs inside of it, and it's getting them happier, cope with stress better, and just vaping, but inside there's so many things.
Yeah.
But science has shown that it causes damage to the brain. And if you read the news, this piao thing has been going around, reaching college kids and even to high schoolers. And I think if we relate to that track where you get the effect of being more relaxed, calmer, but I won't encourage that path lah.
I probably don't talk to as many people as the both of you do in terms of going through their traumas and their pain and all. But with those instances that I have gone through with them, man, it does affect me a certain way.
Right.
How do you deal with that, Lynnette? Like you deal on this. Do you ever get acclimatized to it and then numb to it, or how does it affect you?
I think I'm quite okay generally. Like I all this while I've always been able to detach from my cases. So I don't really have an issue until this particular client that I had, that I was quite helpless actually, because he's very different. So he came with suicidal intention, very strong, but not in a depressed way.
Okay.
So he's like super zen. He came, he said that I'm happy with my life and I think that my time is up. Like that kind, you know. Nothing to dig deeper. He is not sad, he's not depressed, he's doing well.
Okay.
But genuinely think that my time is up.
So why did he come to see you then if he's not struggling?
So he did not. His family members wanted him to come because he was so ready. Suicide notes, how to do it, everything ready. Even the date also already bagi tahu.
How old is this person?
Not old, young.
Okay. And so what happened then?
I saw him the first 2 sessions. I think I couldn't sleep after that because I really think that he would be probably my first client that would just pass on. I have this strong feeling that I wouldn't be able to help him, and that really break me lah. So I consulted so many different seniors because he's so different, because there's no angle for me to enter, to slice it. Then but I tried lah, whatever I can, you know, until one point I just had this epiphany. Like sometimes in treatment, right, like as much as we have a lot of research and journal, sometimes also need a bit of gut feel. And I felt that maybe this person, what he's experiencing is actually a form of disorder. So that thoughts that he has is intrusive. So it's a form of OCD. So nothing to do with whether he's sad or not, whether he's, you know, ready to leave this world, but this is just intrusive thoughts. They're just telling him that, you know, time is up. So I finally decided that I want to refer him to a psychiatrist, but I want to make sure that he sees it. So I actually kind of broke our ethics rule a little. I actually went with him personally to someone that I really trusted, a psychiatrist that I know, make sure he sees him, and thank God, I think after that with medication that helped.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well
so
done.
he went off therapy.
Wow.
Yeah. I have not seen him for a while. So in my line it's also quite sad because if you don't see me means good news. Yeah. So that is that's one case that really impacted me lah.
I see.
Didn't know what to do.
Do you encounter, I'm sure you do, encounter many suicidal cases?
Okay. Not like a lot, but there are, and there were some very aggressive, like they are just dealing with it every single moment. It's just whether or not they have enough urge that day to do it. Some is a bit more suppressed, just thoughts, ideation.
Do you see a common thread that runs among them?
Actually, not really. I don't think so. They are very different demographics, different family background, different jobs. Yeah, I don't really see a trend, but I just think that maybe more people are more open to that idea now.
So do you think by us talking about it also kind of like, sometimes I wonder lah, you know, not talking about it is not helpful, but does it come to a point where we talk a little bit too much about it? And
It's actually a myth.
it's a myth, okay?
It's a myth. Like talking about it wouldn't make someone who has that idea to actually do it. Not talking about it will.
Okay.
Yeah. So the more you shy away, just like how, you know, someone just lost someone close, and you think that you don't want to talk about that person to this person, like someone lost their husband and you don't want to talk about the husband, actually talking about it helps them recover better.
I see.
So talking about suicide, ask them, it's okay one. Like it wouldn't, what I'm trying to say is that it wouldn't further perpetuate to them to do something that they didn't already have it in their mind.
Unless they are in a very toxic relationship. So that toxic person might challenge. Yeah. So I think in a normal context, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But there are people that say, you already say you want to die so many times, so are you not going
Then
to
this
die?
one is different now.
Yeah,
This one is like, wait.
It's like, prove it out, you know?
Yeah,
like-
prove it,
Yeah,
yeah. But there are really
yeah.
people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I kind of tell myself that I shouldn't lose myself in the midst of helping people. I want to be in a good state, a healthy state to help people. I really take this as a principle that if I am not well, it's very hard for me to help people. So in order for me to stay sane, I make a promise to myself not to compromise on my hobbies. Yeah, so hiking is a way of my therapy. Hiking does a lot of good to me. Yeah, just being in the nature, sweating under the sun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, and I don't have to be with anybody.
Yeah.
It's just
They call it forest bathing.
forest bathing. This is my first time hearing. Yeah, so that's how I cope. I think most of the activities that I do requires very little community, like swimming, hiking. But those are the moments that I pray.
Yeah.
I communicate. I really talk to God. I really just talk to God, and I know that this life that He has given me is supposed to be a life of service back to others. So I consider it privilege. Sometimes people ask me like, how many secrets or how many things do you know about people? I say don't start.
Yeah.
Don't start. I have already given them to God.
Yep.
Yesterday I was on my way wanted to pray for someone's father-in-law in Bandar Utama. When I exceeded the NKV toll, he passed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long day and I really couldn't make it earlier. So I rushed there after I settled my kids. The U-turn was hard. So if I was only earlier by 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I would have been there to pray for him.
Yeah.
So there are tough days like that. So I took a way longer route back just to pray. And then when the auto gate opened, I said, I'm not going to bring this to my kid.
Yep.
Because, if I tell them, it will be too heavy for them.
Yeah.
So prayer plays
Yeah.
an integral part of me staying sane and still doing what I'm doing until today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Guess this is where we bring this to a close.
Yeah.
Just maybe a final thought from both of you. Maybe you really want to say something that we didn't cover, or maybe just a word of advice to whether someone going through a situation, or maybe Lynnette has even a word of advice for even pastors as well, or church leaders who may really want to genuinely help people, and what's the next step for them. So if we can just start with Pastor Keith, maybe a final thought.
No shame in asking help. I go for therapies and I find that extremely helpful. You shouldn't be struggling alone, and I genuinely, sincerely want to just encourage you to open up. You can't fix things in the dark. If you can, it would have been solved. So asking for help is not weakness. A lot of times asking for help is a sign of strength, and being able to confess the things that you struggle will take away the grip of whatever the dark forces are doing upon you. So I think I just want to encourage people to reach out to people that you trust, be wise, to start somewhere, and don't rant it on social media. You are not ready. You're not ready for the lashback. You're not ready for people labeling you and saying that you want attention. Find somewhere safe that you can share. And I just want to encourage you that maybe one of the best ways that God loves you is to send an angel, a person, to come alongside you and say that you don't have to struggle alone. So reach out if you are struggling, and I hope if you are thinking about anything that's about harming yourself, please don't. Yeah, you can be helped. There's hope.
I think he has covered it all, man. I just want to say there are people out there that are willing to hear you and to make space for what you have to share. Just try. Really, just try. You don't even have to think too far ahead. And please don't think so far ahead.
Yeah.
Just take one session at a time. Pay off that 50 ringgit for interns. If it cut you wrongly, don't think.
Try again.
Just try.
Yep.
And try. And we'll take it from there. Yeah.
Thank you both so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate your
Thank you.
time sharing so honestly as well. I think it's been really helpful. And we'll also put in the details as well, your socials for your clinic
Sure.
in the description on the screen here. Yep. So do drop Lynnette or Pastor Keith a DM or even me a DM. And yep. I think the main thing that we want to say is you don't have to go through this alone. There are people who can help you. Thank you once again for being
Thank
part of the
you.
show. It's been, I've learned quite a bit as well, and I hope the audience has. I believe they have as well. So thank you, and God bless.